Alright guys, we're standing here with the Vette. Looks pretty good. Pretty stoked on this car. And there's not too much else you can really ask for out of a car that a Corvette Z06 can't really deliver. As far as horsepower, brakes, street credit, you know, you roll down the street in a Vette, people know you mean business, especially when they see the red brake calipers and that little Z06 badge on the side. So, my story with the car, or why I wanted this car, why I aspired to have this car, right? You know, you go through life, you set goals. You live your life without goals, where are you even going? You know, it's like having the best roadmap in the world with nowhere to go, and you're just stuck somewhere, because there's no sense in driving somewhere if you don't know why you're going there. So, set goals. My goal that I set for myself very early in life is I wanted to own a Corvette. Well, the only way to achieve goals is to give them something you can either measure it by, give them a deadline. You have to give yourself something to hold you accountable to that goal. If you say, I want to own a Corvette, you might live your life without never getting one because you never made yourself do it. So I set the goal. My goal was I wanted to own a Corvette before I turned 25. So I made that goal when I was in high school. You know, Corvettes are pretty easily attainable cars. You know, this was not a super expensive car. I could have spent a ton more money, but I didn't set a goal to buy a house. You know, there's some people that might be their goal, you know, so this is what I can afford while still affording what I have. So, and I mean, it's kind of the exact perfect car, but it is like I did have a budget for this car. But anyways, my goal, buy a Corvette before I turned 25. What did I do to start making it so that I could achieve that goal, right? So, I started saving $5 bills. I live life spending cash more than I use cards and stuff, besides like lunch. But anyways, I live my life using cash more than I use cards, more than I use electronic money. Every time I would get a $5 bill, I wouldn't spend it. So you pay 20 bucks for a Wendy's burger, that's $7. You get 2 fives back and a couple ones. Both of those fives go into a savings account. That goes towards the Corvette. Now, you might ask, well, that's a pretty small amount of money. It is. I will say over the 5 years, 5.5 years I was saving $5 bills, I only saved about 1,500 bucks. But it's the mental thought that you're always saving for this car, for this goal, right? So, as I grew older, got out of school, then we really started saving for the car. So, we started putting away what I figured my car payment would be. So, $400 or $500 a month, started saving that into that Corvette account. Start putting that in there every month. Get used to living, before you get the car, get used to living without that money. Because that's going to help you save for it, but that's also going to help you if the car that you want, the goal, the right spec, right? Blue, the gray wheels, the red interior, if the right spec comes up, you can still afford to finance it because you can still afford to live without that money every month. So, I was able to save up just about over half of this car. So, some people may not, you know, tell you this, some people might. I own half of it right now. I think that's pretty good. I'm 25, you know, you can value the car at whatever you want, but that's pretty good. So the next part of my goal is to pay off the rest of it by the end of the year. And you might ask, well, how in the heck are you going to do that if it took you 5 years to save up for half of it? Well, I build engines. I work a lot on the side, and this is the other thing too that you have to keep in mind. If you're trying to achieve something that most people can't in your life, you're going to have to work harder than most people. So one thing I have written on my mirror inside the house is, you work 10 times harder, you get 10 times the opportunity for success. That's not you will achieve 10 times the success, you get 10 times the opportunity to achieve success, right? So, and so to some people, they may achieve success all 10 times that they're working harder. But for me, if I'm gonna work 10 times harder, I'm gonna be happy with 10 times getting up to the plate more than most people. So, also, in life, you have to realize that you need to remind yourself constantly of the goals you're trying to achieve. So, whenever you wake up in the morning and brush your teeth, where do you brush your teeth at? Put a quote there. Put a Hot Wheels car there. Put something in your life to remind your subconscious that this is the goal that I'm trying to achieve and this is what I'm working towards, because your subconscious will work for you off the clock. If you imagine your brain and what you see through your eyes and stuff, and this may be going a little deep for most people, but if you imagine your brain working, everything that your brain processes, your brain had to see it and then tell yourself that's what's happening. Your subconscious gets all that data firsthand. It doesn't need to process it because it does stuff without you knowing what you're actually doing, right? So if you set these goals for yourself and you have constant reminders you're trying to achieve them, your subconscious is going to work so hard for you to achieve that goal off the clock without you even thinking about it. For example, you know, I knew that I wanted this car. I knew I wanted to kind of have a shop, kind of be able to build all this stuff, right? How do I meet all these people that bring me cars to work on? Yeah, I don't know, you know, but my subconscious goes and finds people and brings them to me somehow. At least that's what I believe. You know, it might be fate, faith, whatever you want to call it, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on in your head and attracts you to people for some reason. You know, you might be married or in a partnership or whatever you're in with another person. Well, what inspired you to go talk to that person? You know, it's not like you're like, oh, hey, something had to tell you to do it. Subconscious. So that's my thing. Now that I've got the car, what do I love about the car? Well, I just love everything about it, right? So it's got tons of stopping power. You can go on the internet and watch 50 million reviews of a C6 Z06. That's not what you're here for. But this car is fantastic. My logic behind it, you guys know me for doing all my rotary car stuff, right? You can just see here as I've been walking around. We got RX-7s, we got rotary trucks, we got Cosmos, we build rotary engines. Why do you have a Corvette? Well, most people would assume the next step of rotary car ownership would be to get an FD-RX-7. So that's 1993 to 2002, 1993 to 95 in the States, 2002 in Japan. And that's the RX-7 of like people's dreams. You know, that's like my favorite Fast and Furious car is the red FD-RX-7 from Fast and Furious 1. And you know, that's just like the bomb. That's like what got me into cars, right? You know, you see that car and you're like, oh, heck yeah. And everyone has that car to them. You know, just because I like that one doesn't mean you have to. You know, you can like whatever you want. It's your opinion. But that car inspired me to get an awesome new modern swoopy whatever car. Well, the FD-RX-7 has its flaws, okay? It's still a 90s sports car. The door panels like to fall off if you close the doors too hard. And I wouldn't really I trust myself to build a car, but I wouldn't trust myself to build a car of the performance that I want for that price point that's going to be a 90s car, right? You know, that car's got sketchy airbags, it's got sketchy ABS. Any other 90s awesome car that like you would think my dream car would be, being how vintage, you know, my collection is so far, it's just not there. So the C5Z and the C5 Corvettes, they're great cars. A lot of this car is that car, but they just don't quite do it for me aesthetically, and this one is the last true Corvette in my opinion, and people are going to comment below and argue about that. But when you grow up seeing Corvettes, and my grandpa has a C3 like 82 awesome car, and like that's the vision of what a Corvette is in your head, right? You see the circle taillights, the big long swoopy hood with the fenders, and it's just that classic front engine rear wheel drive gnarly car. Well, the new one, the C8, fantastic car, but in my mind it's not what a traditional Corvette is. Not saying that it's not a Corvette, because it is, but it's not what I think a traditional Corvette is. This car here, circle taillights, long swoopy hood, you can see the fenders, it sounds awesome, has that nice side profile of a Vette, and that's what I believe a Corvette is. So, with everything there, and you're sitting at home watching this video, I want to challenge you to put reminders in your life for the things you want to achieve. So whether that's, you know, helping your kids become successful, getting a car that you want, buying a house, getting that promotion in your job, you know, doing stuff like that. You need to constantly remind yourself of your goals. And then your goals also need to have a deadline, and you need to be able to quantify it somehow. You know, for me, the car cost a certain amount. I wanted to get so much money, right? It's measurable. That's what you need to do. The other thing is you have to set a goal that you can actually achieve. You know, it would be stupid to say that I wanted to own a McLaren F1 by the time I was 25. Now, I'm not saying you can't do that, but you have to set a goal that's attainable. Not everybody in life gets started out on the same step of the ladder here. You know, you're kind of dealt the hand you get when you're born, and that's just part of life. But there's no one to say that you can't climb the ladder faster than anybody else. So set your goals, climb that ladder, get to where you want to be, and remind yourself of everything there. And if a rung breaks on the ladder, jump up to the next one. But make sure that even if you do fall, you're still willing to keep going up, because there's no reason to ever, you know, get disgruntled. I think there's a quote, I'll have to read it and put it on the screen, and I'll insert the voiceover, but it's not the fact that you're drowning, or it's not that you're in the water that causes you to drown. It's just you not realizing that you can swim back out of it. So it's something like that. I'll voice over it because I probably messed it up, but anyways, that's also one of the quotes on my wall. So yeah, so this is my Vette. I'm gonna go drive it right now. You're gonna come along for a little bit of the ride. We'll talk about a little bit of it more, but that is this is my dream car, y'all. This is like one of those lifer cars, you know? Like, I'll never not have this car, you know? So if it comes down to it, we'll sell the race car, we'll sell the other race car, we'll sell the mouse, we'll sell everything here, but this is one of the ones I'm keeping. You know, not that my kids won't want to have it after me, but if I could get buried in it, that'd be pretty dang cool. But let's go for a little ride. Thank you guys a bunch for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed like my Corvette story and why I really wanted and how hard I worked and what I did to achieve this car, to be able to get this car. You know, it's not so much just like a stature thing. Like, you know, this is a car that is a dream for me. You know, this is something I've been looking forward to achieving in my life for many years, and pumped to have it. So, but I do, you know, 100% want to thank you guys for watching this video. You know, the guys that have stuck around on the YouTube channel and been around for the year and a half, 2 years I've been doing this. I mean, if you're watching this and you see my channel, we're very small right now. So hopefully we can grow, and I really want to thank all the people that have helped to make this channel grow. The YouTube channel provides a huge motivation for me to work on stuff and just to keep my projects moving, and it helps hold me accountable for just getting stuff done, you know, staying productive. And that's one thing too I want to challenge you. You know, in your life, find something to hold you accountable to, because that's the only way to get stuff done. So again, thank you all a bunch for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a little different than what I normally do. I'm hoping to bring out kind of another car video series on the channel, more so about like the story behind people's cars than actually the performance aspects of their car that they own, but really like what drew them to that car. So look forward to that. This video took me forever to edit, so I apologize for it being delayed. If you saw me on social media, I've had the car for probably 3 weeks now, but regardless, thank you guys very much. Hope you enjoyed it, and have a good rest of your day. Keep it rad.